Another thing that one mentioned that if you go to the ATM, you're charged about 35 dirham every time you withdraw cash. So make sure you always try to take out the much amount as you can. So minimum 500 and up. So if you there's no point in going to the ATM every single time. But if you aim to take out between 500 to 1,000 dirham, you only pay the fee once. So that's 35 dirham every single time you go to the ATM. And my bank, the bank in UK, I'm a Rural Revolut, and basically they don't charge any fees. So in Morocco, they basically charge a fee every time. So just a reminder, if you are in Morocco, please make sure that you take as much money as you can at once. You know, minimum of 500 dirham and up. So you only pay the fee once, or if you have a limit of say like 1,000 dirham a day, take out as close as 1,000 dirham as you can, right? For good peace, enjoy yourself and watch my content if you can. I'm just trying to be more real with people. I've got some new audio and hopefully this audio can capture the sound and my voice. All good. Peace. I'm just heading back to my hostel now. I decided that I'll just walk back because it's not too late. I'd love to see the local part of a country, whether it's local, where the locals hang out. Outdoor bars are closed now. The other bars are still open. The ones that open 24 hours are still open. So you find all the taxis are just waiting for the customers to come and get a taxi back to the hotel or to their houses and homes. So I guess it should take me about less than half an hour to walk back. As you can see, it's completely empty. There's no one out on the streets right now. It's completely empty. So basically, there's nobody out. I'm walking back. Let me know if the audio is okay, if you can hear my voice. I just saw a man get thrown out the bar. I don't know what happened, but usually in the UK they have bouncers. So essentially, the bouncers threw this guy out. I don't know what he said, but I think he did something or said something to upset somebody, so he got thrown up by two guys. And then I was having my seashell, and then the staff came. The staff came, and then they basically said, "I'm sorry," but they spoke in a little bit of English. Then they replaced my seashell, and they got me a new coal and another coffee. It, I think I only paid about. I paid around 160 dirham, so about I think I paid around um, £12, which is not that much really, because in London they do cost a lot more money, a lot more money. So it's all good. There's nobody out now, so the streets are completely empty. But you see all the taxis just waiting for the customers. So especially around this time of the evening, it's quite late. So to get back to the square, I probably will be paying around 50, 60 dirham, I think even 100 baht. So I'll just walk it back instead. So I've got a lot of energy left actually. They were really good in there actually, to be honest. The staff were very helpful because I've been there so many times. I've been there about five, 6 times now. It's really good. It's basically like a lounge area, a lounge bar. So there are the nightclub bars and the lounge bars. So essentially, all the locals just sitting around having a shisha, having a mint tea. I don't think they serve alcohol because in in the big main square, essentially, I think you need a license to be open and serve the shisha. And all the bars, all the bars in the square that want to serve the shisha need that license. So in my hostel, they said essentially I have to come to Gillies to get this shisha in the bars here, which is not that bad actually. I took a taxi here and I just paid him 50 dirham, which is not that much really, to be honest. You know, it's about £4, about €5. I know local people pay a lot less, but I say, hey, I don't really mind. I pay it, so it's alright in the end, no problem. So you find local people still out around this time. So essentially, here's where all the action happens. So here is essentially the this part of Greece is essentially the Oxford Street Mayfair of the city. This is where all the action happens, guys. This is all the action that happens right here. If you come to Morocco around this time of the night, the evening, this is where all the actions is. All the bars are essentially underground. So you would, I don't think you find a sort of bar that is sort of in the open. So they don't smoke the shisha in the open. It's all done underground. What else can I say? Yeah, they have the mainstream places that we all know of. They have the KFC here. They have the McDonald's here. They have the local banks that I go to a lot to exchange money. If you have like a Revolut card, it's amazing actually, because you don't get to pay any fees. So this is ATM that I use a lot in the city. It's really good to film now because all the big main roads are all empty. So there are the police rounds, you know, to make sure things are smooth, places closed on time. You don't see many drunken people about around this time. You do see very attractive women out and about around this time. It's 2 in the morning. What time is it now? It's coming up to 2 p.m. What time is it? Yeah, 2 p.m. No, 2 a.m. I'm sorry. So all the people are still out and about and stuff. So essentially, it's, it's easy to cross the road because there are less cars right now. You are you will find some local people out around this time. They usually get in, you know, their fair share of entertainment. So this is the main road of the city, and everybody who wants to experience the real um, action comes here. You can walk it. It'll take you less than half an hour. But if you want to save 50 to 60 dirham or 100 dirham, just walk. It's fun. You get to experience the nightlife. Really good. What I was gonna say? Yeah, just be aware of things, people that you meet. I wouldn't be out in a nightclub bar on my own around this time. To be honest, you know, because they are basically there to sort of extort a lot of money from the tourists. So essentially, you need to be able to just be aware and be on your wits and on your guard. I could have got a taxi, but I just decided to walk. I save, I will save 50 dirham, and I can use that to get another meal tomorrow. So you can see here the big main road. There's a KFC, there's a KFC right across. KFC right across. It may be still open actually. I love this main road. Really nice, really good. This is the big main road, and straight down here takes me straight to the main square. On my way there, you find there are big hotel chains. They're very expensive places to eat and drink. So essentially, if I had to eat or drink in any of these nightlife places, uh, I would be spending like a minimum of 100 dirham and up. Plus, that's plus tip. Plus the tip. I don't mind to tip people. I have tipped a lot of people over my week being here. I tipped the cleaners, I tipped the people who serve me food or drink. I tipped the hotel staff, the hostel staff. Every little counts. As you can see, this is the main main road. Main road. Is it is it safe to be on your own? It's safe to be on your own. You just have to respect the laws of the country. Don't assume it's like your country back home. This isn't, it is a Muslim country, Arabic. Even though they all speak French, as you can see, all these banks and hotels are very nice apartments as well. Very affluent part of the city. So that's why you have to be really, really able to sort of know your wits about you, know who you are, enjoy yourself, have fun. There are some things that are the same all over the world. I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a night vlog where I'm just walking, I'm talking. I love to talk like this because I don't really get the opportunity to speak like this in everyday life back in London. Well, I do, but the culture is completely different back in London. Back in London. Especially like now, I'm making sure that I'm not trying to get any people on the camera who are uncomfortable, who are basically don't want that sort of exposure. But as long as you film people with respect, that's also a good thing. So there's so many bars tucked away in the side streets that play loud music and alcohol. Another thing I forgot to mention: some places play a lot of alcohol. They play a lot of loud music and westernized music. I've never been inside here before, but it looks cool. Well, it looks cool. It's cool. Maybe I don't know. I've got 19% left, so I'm gonna charge my DJI Osmo 4 later this evening. So it's interesting, really. It's a good walk. I'm walking. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that some places, if you come to pay for a bill, be it at a restaurant, at the hotel, hostel, where you are, they will only accept cash. So don't get angry if they said, "Oh, we take card," but last minute they accept cash. They will only accept cash. That's okay. They understand that. But always have some cash on you, so you can tip people. You can, buy the small things. in the local shops. So a lot of the main restaurants are closed. As you can see, there are the taxis waiting for customers right here. And here is where they earn their keep. Being from a Western country, like I'm always aware of the contrast, not just with the language, but how they perceive Westerners. Westerners. So it's completely empty right now. I have a lot more energy than I did a few days ago, and I really like to explore the real side of a country. You know, in the main square where I was a couple of hours ago, they have many tourists. So essentially, they charge a lot, but the only downside is that if you want to basically get a sense of the real city, you would have to come to Gillies, which is only a 5 minute taxi ride from the big main square. So yeah, I'm walking it right now. I could easily have walked it before, but hey, I thought, hey, you know what? I'm not going to argue. I said, look, 50 dirham to Gillies. He said, okay. And of course, I knew that if a local would ask to get a taxi, he would pay no more than 20 dirham. And I think for locals, they turn on the meter. Another thing I forgot to say, they turn on the meter. So all the locals know roughly how much they should be spending. Right? For me being a tourist, they know straight away that okay, he's a tourist, he can spend a lot more money. So the fare is negotiated upon entering the taxi. So you stand on the side street, wave at a taxi, and then he stops, and then you negotiate a price. You have to negotiate before you enter the taxi. So I'm almost at my hostel now. So it's interesting actually to just be amongst local people. It's a different energy than being amongst tourists. You see, I've met lots of cool people at the hostel who are from UK, Germany, you know, Lithuania, lots of people. So essentially, um, you get to meet people from all over the world, all over the world. It's really good to just explore. So it's really interesting to basically be in the real city, whereby the fares are a bit higher than usual. So you have to negotiate everything. Oh, my battery's low, 10% left. Should be alright. I'm gonna stop this in a minute and resume when I get closer to my hostel. Peace. Dirham easily for a t-shirt, and for drinks I probably will pay about probably 6 dirham, I think, for a drink. But I decided to get the drink at the hostel because they are fair with the pricing and they won't overcharge me. And I've got a Coke and a vodka, just a small vodka and Coke for 60 dirham. So I've got my Coke and vodka because I don't drink that much actually. I drink very little drink and drinking. I'm just having this relaxing night this evening because I ate around 3 o'clock. I decided to not eat again because I had a big meal above the pasta around 3 o'clock p.m. this afternoon and decided to just have a rest and let my digestion take in the food, and that's all good. I may head out later actually to just go for a walk. But I noticed the contrast so much. It's just how they act very differently around that part of the city of Marrakesh. So being here is I think this part in the old town is more for the tourists. It's more for tourists. So I'm just relaxing here for a couple of hours or so. All good. Right, guys. I'm in my final accommodation.